Wanna soar? Get a mentor. Hey, it's Nina Carmichael, and we made these videos because you're probably the most ambitious person in your circle. But you know you're capable of more, and you need that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and learn how to get super productive and get more done. Enjoy! Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1, be productive.
What matters is that you're productive, that you get results, that you stop wasting time. Too many people default to thinking that if they just wake up an hour earlier, they're gonna be way more productive. If you're not productive in a 16-hour day, what makes you think that you're gonna be more productive in a 17-hour day when you have less sleep? So this is a interesting message and timing for me right now because I love beating the sun up. I love it. I love working. Like it's my default state. If Nina is off on a Friday night with her friends or something, 80% chance I'm working. I love it. I look forward to it. When I go close my eyes, I can't wait for it to be the next day. Like I'm pumped to go off and do the work. I recently did a sleep study and my doctor was concerned I wasn't getting enough quality sleep. So I went to go do a sleep study and the doctor, after going through the results, told me that I need to be sleeping 8.5 hours to 9 hours a night. And it like super disappointed me. 8.5 hours to 9 hours? Are you kidding me? I was trying to go from 8 to 7. I was waking up after 8 hours sleep and feeling still a little bit tired. And so that's why my doctor recommended even going to the sleep study. And I'm trying to figure out how do I hack it to get down to 7 and still be fully functional, not be, lazy and slow and not having my cognition. And yeah, he said I need to be sleeping 8.5 to 9 hours a night. And he said, is that normal? Like, are you not worried? He's like, no, as long as you're under 10, it's normal. People range from 6 to 10 and they're totally fine. Like, this sucks. I mean, I'm not happy about it. I'm still looking at how can I hack my sleep more? And we've tried a lot. I have the chili pad. We've got, meditation before sleeping. I'm lying on the bed of nails with the thing behind me, the pillow, the nail pillow. No, phones or computers, X amount of time before going to bed. Red light filters on everything. Red lights, no lights at all in the place, right? Like just these real red lights glowing around after sunset. Lots of it. Cool down the temperature, I don't know, all of it. Don't eat past 8 o'clock, no caffeine past 2 o'clock, all of it. I'm doing all of that stuff, all of it, right? Plus probably a lot more stuff. I've studied and hacked away. I still believe there's a lot more hacking. I still want to get it from 9 to 7. But if I'm at 9 and I need 9, I think you should get 9. I'm at the point now where if I wake up and the sun is still not up, I stay in bed. And that's actually boosting of confidence. It's like, okay, so I wake up and sun hasn't come up yet. Okay, this is hard. This is difficult. It's difficult for me to not get out of bed. I'm gonna stay in bed just because. Now I'm a weird duck, so maybe this works for you, maybe it doesn't. But I was having a great conversation with Jeremy, who's on my team, who I've invested in his business. He's helping companies scale their YouTube channels. And he was going through the same thing where he was feeling a little tired in the afternoon. He wanted to nap on some afternoons, and that's never been me. So dude, you just try waking up without an alarm. And normally he's up at 4:30 in the morning or something. So just wake up without an alarm and see how it goes. And he ended up sleeping for 9 hours and hating himself for doing it. It's like, dude, maybe you need 9 hours. Like, much more important than that extra hour or two is what are you doing during the day? If you're losing energy during the day and you want to nap every afternoon, you're not being productive. Like, there's no way. Sleep and be productive. You need sleep to win. I think everybody should get a sleep test. I think it's a brutal experience. You barely sleep, right? When you're there, you got stuff up your nose and a million sensors all over you. But to know how much sleep you actually need and making sure that you're productive during the time that you are awake. That's the most important thing. That you are productive during the time that you are awake is way more important than if you wake up before the sun gets up. Okay, so how can you do it? I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is fix your calendar. Fix your calendar. You got to make sure that you're productive. Make sure that your actions map to your ambitions. The reason why so many people say wake up early is because your evening hours for many people are not productive. Because when you wake up, you're more likely to be productive and you're gonna do your work. You're gonna get on your morning routine. You're gonna feel like you got a kickstart on the day. You're gonna go off and start to crush it. Where if you're staying up late at night, you're gonna find yourself playing games or watching Netflix or doing things that aren't productive, right? Like waking hours, make sure you're productive. Put it in your calendar. You're waking up around this time, right? How are you gonna spend your morning routine? What does that look like? And then what are you gonna do? and mapping it out so that when you can step above your calendar and look at the week and the month that's ahead, you say, if I did these things that's in my calendar, I'm going to be more successful. I'm going to be closing in on my goals, right? Your actions map to your ambitions. So you create your calendar and then you go and live it. And then you go and do it. The most important thing, again, isn't making sure you're up before the sun. It's making sure that you're doing the things that you said you were going to do. And the things that you said you were going to do are going to lead you to accomplishing the success that you want to have. You have to be more productive and fix your calendar. Step number 2 is understand how much sleep you actually need, right? I've heard it, I guess, before, but I didn't really buy it until I went and did the sleep study. And again, I'm still trying to hack it. I still believe I can get it lower. Even if I go from 9 to 8, that's amazing. But I have to be fully refreshed. I have to be ready to start my day. And so understand how much sleep you need, right? Here's a challenge for tomorrow. Don't set an alarm and see what time you wake up. And if you sleep an extra hour and you feel more refreshed, like you're probably living in a massive sleep deficit for you. And so maybe you need 7 hours, or maybe you need 8 hours, or maybe you need 9 hours. And if you need a lot more than that, then maybe, there's a problem, you gotta go get it fixed. I was hoping that he could give me, if I had sleep apnea, amazing. My problem with sleep apnea, awesome, give me the machine, I'll sleep with it every night, I'll sleep 7 hours and I'll go and crush it. It's like, no, you don't have sleep apnea. You don't have any deficiencies. I did a bunch of blood tests, no deficiencies. There's nothing actually wrong with you. You just need 9 hours sleep. It just tears me apart. But you have to figure out how much sleep you need. Because again, sacrificing 1 hour of sleep and being tired all day is not going to make you more productive. Understand how much sleep you need and then factor that into your calendar, factor that into your life so you can be happy, you can be fulfilled, you can have energy, and you can go and crush your goals. And then step number 3 is work to your rhythm. Some people work better at night than they do during the day, right? Again, as I said earlier, the reason why so many people advocate for a morning start is because at night, most people aren't productive. At night, you're losing time. At night, you're watching Netflix and playing games and doing things that aren't in supportive of your mission, right? Listen to Grant, though. He goes to sleep at 9. Grant Cardone goes to sleep at 9 and he wakes up before the sun comes up. He's getting enough sleep to do it, right? But your best productivity might be at 9. Like maybe you don't even turn on until 9. Maybe you should be working from 9 until 4 in the morning. I don't know, right? Work to your style. Because if you try to be somebody else and you try to work to a different style that's not suited for you, you're not going to win. It's more difficult if you're working from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. How many hours is that? 10, 11, 12, that's 7 hours, right? If you're working from 9 to 5 the other way, that's going to be hard to do meetings. That's going to be hard to have team calls. That's going to be hard to scale up your business, right? It'll be difficult because most people don't want to work for a midnight meeting with you. But if that's where you are your most creative and that's where you get the most productivity out of you, then you need to factor that in. If you're more of a night owl and you're going to work every night, you're going to move forward on your ambitions every night, then don't beat yourself up because you didn't get up before the sun came up.
Rule number 2, be willing to work hard.
There is no longer any acceptable reason why you can't get the mentors that you're after and start winning. The opportunities that are in front of you right now did not exist for your parents, and it's only getting easier. But you still have to do your part. You still have to reach out. You still have to want it. It's actually less about winning the lottery and where you came from, and much more about how badly do you want it and how much are you gonna put in to get after it. Because if you are willing to put in the work, you can beat out somebody with 1,000 times more resources than you. So every night I go on Twitch and I stream my League of Legends games, twitch.tv/Believe Team here. And there was a guy who joined me last night from the Philippines. So he's from the Philippines and he says that his goal is to be a professional League of Legends player. And the challenge is there's not a big League of Legends scene in the Philippines. There's no professional teams. There's only one player right now named Smithy, who's a jungler. Where did he go? He was jungler for Team Liquid. He signed with a new team. It escapes me right now. There's one person who was born in the Philippines who's a pro player right now and makes his living as a professional League of Legends player. This guy joins my live stream last night and he says he's a support player from the Philippines and that's his ambition. He's gonna grind it out. He wants to get noticed. He wants to get picked up. He wants to be a professional League of Legends player. The crazy thing is, that's actually possible. It's actually possible for him to do it. It's actually possible for him to get training, for him to get mentorship, for him to reach out, for him to get in contact with people. Here he is. He's in the Philippines. I'm in Canada, and we're talking, and we're connecting on my live stream. It's actually possible. It wasn't possible even 10 years ago. Definitely not for his parents. You look at what his parents are doing, where they came from. You could have some dream, But at that time, the dream was probably just to come to North America, or just to have this one little thing that existed in the world currently, right? This limited mindset, because there were limited opportunities. But right now, the opportunities are insane. You have a thing called the internet. People didn't have it before. The opportunities are insane. You are competing against the world, which is bad for a lot of North Americans, but it's amazing for everybody who's outside, or amazing for anybody who's willing to work hard. It's not even bad for North Americans. It's bad for anybody who's lazy, who's slow, who's maybe had things handed to them. There's a lot of people in North America who had nothing handed to them, but they're willing to work hard. If you are willing to work hard, if you are willing to show yourself, it's never been easier to win. Justin Bieber got discovered on YouTube. You don't need to have a manager anymore. You don't have to go through the system. You don't want to, I got a publisher for my deal, but you don't want to have a publisher? Publishers reject you? Great, go off and self-publish. David Goggins did. Lots of people created #1 bestsellers just from self-publishing. You can bet on yourself if you're willing to work hard, if you're willing to put in the effort. It's never been easier to win. And so I look at this guy from the Philippines. It might be easier for me, right? Me sitting here in Canada, if my goal was to be a professional League of Legends player, sure, it might be easier for me. Sure, I might have more resources. Sure, I could afford coaching and go to tournaments and meet people. But it's also never been easier for him, because in the past, it would have been only available to me. Now, it's available to anybody. And if he has the heart and the hustle and the drive and the intention and the will to go off and do it every day, he can crush someone like me, even if I have 1,000 times more resources than him. And you can too. How? I'm gonna give you a 3-step process. So step 1 is find aspirational mentors. Find people who you wanna be like. Maybe they're from the same country as you, maybe not, maybe same background as you, maybe not, but they're doing the thing, or they have done the thing that you want. And learn from them. There's videos on them, there's books on them, there's podcasts on them, there's interviews with them. Learn from them, study them for 2 things. 1, just the motivation to know that if they could do it, you could do it too, right? Just the hope. This is why I started doing what I did in terms of modeling success and having these people, behind me on my wall, and why I do all these YouTube videos is because I wanted the hope, the belief that if other people could do it, I could do it too. I look at somebody who came with less, chances are the people who you look up to started with less than what you already have right now. And so seeing that they came from there and accomplished this thing makes me feel like I can too. It gives me hope. And second, it gives you strategies. You look at what they did and say, wow, this is what they did. This is the path they took. I can copy that. Success leaves clues. It won't lead you to all the way 100%, but if it gets you 80% of the way, all you have to do is figure out that last 20%, because they took you 80% of the way instead of you figuring everything out yourself. I'm a product of learning from Jeff Bezos, from Steve Jobs, from Kanye West, from the people that I profiled on my channel. I'm a product of aspirational mentorship. I may never meet Jeff Bezos. I probably won't get the chance to work under him and be mentored by him and sign up for his coaching program, right? Probably not, but I can learn from him. I did in this video, and I've done so in many other of the videos that I've done on him too. You can too. Who has done what you want to do and then be around it daily. Number 2 is in-person mentors. You're looking at people who you can actually meet one-on-one, people who might be in your city, people who might be coming to your city. When I was doing my tour, people would come and meet me because they wanted to ask me some questions. Look at who's coming to your city, or maybe you have to go and do a 1, 2, 3, 8-hour drive. People came from Boston and New York to come and see me and interview me here in Toronto because they wanted the one-on-one access, right? Especially if you're from far away, people will give you more time. And so find out who has done what you're trying to do. Jeff Bezos may not be taking a meeting with you, but there's other people who've accomplished a smaller version. You're now talking about learning from the richest man in the world, one of the most successful people in the world. There's a lot of people who've done what you want to do on a slightly smaller scale who are way more accessible. Reach out. Say you're trying to do this one thing. You have one question for them, and that's the key. Don't go to somebody and say, will you be my mentor? Don't do that. It's disrespecting their time. Just say you have one question for them. You have one question, and then get the answer. Most mentees suck. Most people will come back then a week later and say, oh, I have another question. Like, don't worry, what happened to the first question? Did you do it? I told you to do this. What did you do? Like, oh, well, that was too difficult, or it didn't work out. Not acceptable. Not acceptable. If you get advice from somebody for the one question, it's the most important question for you, you have to go off and do it. And if it doesn't work out, if it works out, great, then come back and ask another question. Say, hey, I followed your advice. Look at what I did now. Now I'm facing this problem. Right? If it doesn't work out though, they might ask, well, how many times did you try it? And it better be at least 100. If you said that you tried it 2 times and it didn't work out, you're totally disrespecting their time. Don't be a sucky mentee. That's a brutal attitude to have. If I told you make a video and gave you feedback on how to make a video, and then you went off and you said, oh, it didn't work. How many times did you try? 3 times? I don't want to see you. You're wasting my time. Why are you disrespecting coming with another question when you haven't even taken the effort on the first one that was so important to you, right? Now, if you said, I did 100 videos, I recorded 100 videos and it still doesn't work out. I badly want this to work. Then I'll take a look. I'll take a second look because you're putting in the effort. The problem is the mentor is putting in the effort. You're not matching it. Even though it might be only 15 minutes of effort for them, their time is a lot more valuable than yours right now, right? So their effort is not being matched by your effort. You need to match, you need to come up, and you need to put in massive effort, and then they'll want to help you again. So first is aspirational mentors, second is in-person mentors, and then the third would be online mentors. And these are people who you can meet even right now. You can meet me. I'm doing a Twitch stream probably tonight. You can go twitch.tv/BelieveTeam. Come join me. I do Instagram lives. Whoever you're looking up to, chances are they have some kind of live stream or somebody in the industry has some kind of way to reach out. Maybe it's an Instagram DM. Maybe they're going live on Instagram. Maybe they're going live on YouTube. Maybe they're going live on LinkedIn. Maybe they have a way to ask them a question on Twitter, right? This hasn't existed typically, right? This is a new phenomenon in the past 10 years where people who you look up to, respect, admire, you can actually ask them a question and get a response, even though you may never meet them. I think about when I was younger, I loved the Toronto Blue Jays. I love the Toronto Blue Jays. And I love baseball in general. And so I would write to the different players on the Blue Jays as well as teams to ask for an autograph card. And teams would sometimes write back. And I remember the first thing that wrote back was actually the Texas Rangers gave me a signed Nolan Ryan picture. Nolan Ryan, Hall of Fame baseball player, one of the greatest pitchers of all time. And I sent out a letter to them and talking about why I love Nolan Ryan. And I don't know, a couple months later, they sent me back in the mail. I kind of forgot about it, but they sent me back in the mail this signed picture of Nolan Ryan. And it blew me away that they actually took the time to read my letter. Now, did Nolan actually read the letter? Probably not. He probably has a stack of cards that I've just signed, but it made me feel special as a little kid. But think about that process. I had to write a letter and mail it, and then a couple months later get a response. Now you can see people on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, and you get freaked out when they don't respond to you. Well, if you only write one comment, don't expect to get a response, right? Be a known quantity. But the people who have the knowledge that you are after that can help you get to where you need to be are available. They've never been more accessible in human history. So how badly do you want it, and are you going to reach out or not?
Rule number 3, model success.
The fastest way to accomplish anything is to model someone who has already had the same success that you are after. You can go around trying to figure out everything by yourself, trying to come up with every new idea yourself, and you will slowly make progress towards your ideas. But until you recognize that success leaves clues, that whatever the thing is that you're trying to accomplish has already been solved by thousands and thousands of people, that all you need to do is model their success. Until you realize that, you're going to constantly stay struggling, making slow progress, knowing that you're capable of more. So I first learned the power of modeling success with my first business, where I was struggling. I was 19, 20, not making any money, $300 a month, low confidence, filled with self-doubt, not getting results. You know, I turned down high-paying jobs to do this thing and own 30% of a company that seemed to be going nowhere. And I told my partner that I quit. And the thing that saved me when I hit my lowest point was, I am not the first person to try to solve this problem before. Maybe my specific scenario, yes. Biotech software, you know, from Toronto, who's done that before? Nobody. But a software company getting to $1 million, somebody's done that before. How about I just look at their success and try to emulate it? And so the only person I could think of off the top of my head was Bill Gates. So I looked at Bill Gates and how he got started, and it was through partnerships, and I applied that lesson to my business, and in a short amount of time had my first deal for $13,500. I felt like a rich man. You know, I felt like, holy cow. To go from $300 a month and saying I quit to now having a deal in place for $13.5K, and more important, the strategy that I could use again and again was life-changing for me. All because I modeled success. And that was, again, when I was 19, 20. So now what have I done for the past 20 years is just model success. What is my YouTube channel about? What is this video about? Modeling success. Why have these people behind me? It's not for you, it's for me. I want to model success. They're constantly pulling me up to a greater spot. Whatever problem you have has been solved. Not exactly the specific minutia, but by modeling Bill Gates, it took me 80% of the way. You still have to figure out that final 20%, but most people are trying to figure out the whole 100. That's the problem. I was struggling when I was trying to figure out the whole 100 all by myself. I just coming up with new ideas, new ways, new innovation, but nothing worked. All you have to do is figure out that last 20%. And so look to your heroes, look to potential mentors, whether you know them in person or not. They've done it before. They can teach you. Success leaves clues. You don't have to go through this alone, and you can ramp up your success really quickly. Now, how do you get a mentor? There's 3 different kinds. I want to break them down and teach you how to get them. Let's go. The first mentors are in-person mentors. These are people who you meet for coffee, people who you can hang out with, people you can sit, face to face with and ask them questions. They may not have had as big a success, right? As much as, I love Kanye West, I haven't met him yet. Howard Schultz, I haven't met him yet. These 2 I'm never gonna meet, Steve Jobs, AP Giannini. But I haven't met those 2 yet. And even if I do, or when I do, I'm not hanging with Kanye every day over coffee asking him some questions. So there's people who have some success, but they may not be the top of the top. That's okay. They're further ahead than you are. And so you look at people who are local, look at people who you can make time to connect with and ask them questions. Show your hunger, show your drive. Mentors love giving back and helping out, but they hate wasting their time. And they feel like it's a waste of time often because mentees suck. Most mentees suck. Most mentees don't do the work. Most mentees don't do the work because it's hard. And so you need to show to the mentor that you will do the work, that you will follow through, that you will do it. And then they'll feel great because they'll see a younger version of themselves in you. That's what you want. I had a guy named Carlos who wanted to do an interview with me in Toronto, and he was from New York. I said, okay, you know what? If you get here from New York on this day, I'll do the interview with you. And so he took a bus overnight to get here. So it's a 9-hour bus to do the interview with me. And then he asked afterwards, I still have a couple hours before I have to go back home and catch my overnight bus again. Right? Overnight bus for half an hour in Toronto and then overnight bus, right? That was his plan. Can I hang out with you? Can I just see what you're doing? Can I ask you more questions? And I said, you know what? Yeah. And anybody else, typically I would have said no to and move on with my day. But I said yes. And I brought him back to my place and we filmed some more content. I answered some more questions from him because he showed that he was willing to work. And this is a guy who's gonna win. He doesn't let the fact that somebody's in Toronto and he's in New York stop him, even though he doesn't have a car, even though he couldn't afford the flight, right? Buys a bus ticket overnight, there and back. Even though, he's got a wife at home and he's got responsibilities and a full-time job and all of it. He made it work. And so I wanna help him. I gave him extra time that day. I'm talking about him now here, on this video. Carlos, shout out. I love you, man. You're gonna crush it. That's the process. So you can reach out to people who have done what you want to do and then share your story and show your willingness to work, show your willingness to take their advice and apply it. And you'll get far more yeses. Step number 2 are what I call aspirational mentors. These are actually my favorite. These are people who I love learning from that I may never meet or can't meet, right? These 2, I can't meet. I'm never gonna meet Steve Jobs. AP Giannini is the founder of Bank of America. He's my favorite entrepreneur of all time. I'm never gonna meet him either. They passed. I've still learned a lot from Kanye and Howard, even though I haven't met them yet. You can learn from people. You can dissect their success and learn from them, even if you never meet them. So if you're saying, well, I'm in the middle of nowhere and I can't get somewhere. I don't know anybody in my family. I have no connection, zero. How do I get started? Don't let that defeat you. You could learn from aspirational mentors. That's what this channel is all about. Find the people, 2 types. One, who are in your industry who've done it. I learned from Bill Gates because he was in software and I was in software. So look at the people who've done it. Anybody who's big, even though I was in biotech software and Bill Gates was in productivity software, that's 80% of the rules are the same, right? How he did it, I can apply 80% to my success. Then you only have to figure out that final 20%. So look at people in your industry and then look at people who you just love. Look at people you look up to and respect. I love AP Giannini, who is the founder of Bank of America, because he was the believe banker, even though I'm not in banking. I love Steve Jobs, even though I'm not making tech gear. I love Howard Schultz, even though I'm not, creating coffee, right? Whoa, almost spilled it. I love Kanye, even though I'm not rapping. Although I do have one rap. You guys should check it out. My believe rap in Chinese The song is in Chinese, I rap in English. But I don't have ambitions or aspirations to be, a rapper. I can learn from all these people. And so can you. If you love somebody, for some reason, you can still learn from their success because success leaves clues. And so you should definitely ramp up the aspirational mentors that are filling your head. And the third kind of mentors are a hybrid that I would call online mentors. And these are people who could be aspirational mentors, and you may never meet them and you may never be able to afford to hire, one-on-one with them, but they're going live online. They're creating content. If they're just creating content and they're just, posting videos on YouTube or posting videos on Instagram, I would call that an aspirational mentor. If Tony Robbins creates a video for YouTube, you're learning from him. It's amazing, right? It's great. I love it. But Tony Robbins may go live on Instagram. Lewis Howes may go live on Instagram. Evan Carmichael goes live on Instagram multiple times per week, every week. You can come in and ask questions. And so for all these people who you look up to and respect, go to Instagram, turn on notifications, go to YouTube, look for when they go live, and when they're there, be the first. I can't tell you how many times I go live on Instagram and people are afraid or shy to ask questions at the beginning. I love bringing people in live where we're both in there picture in picture. But at the beginning, people are always afraid. They're afraid to ask the first question. They're afraid to put up their hand and potentially be picked to come in live. But after we get started, after the first few questions come in, then it's a flood of questions. And then I can't answer all of them. So take your shot. Follow your mentors online. You don't even need to be active on Instagram to follow people on Instagram. And when they go live and you have one burning question for Tony Robbins, for Lewis Howes, for Evan Carmichael, get in there first. Raise your hand and say, me, here's my question. And hopefully you get the advice that you need. And then your next job is do the work. Whenever a mentor gives you advice and says, here's what you need to do, go and do it. Don't come back with a different question 10 minutes later or a week later. Go back and do the work and do the work and do the work. Show that you respect them and you're willing to put the work in. Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for you to shift that habit forward. So I've designed a special free program to help you get more self-belief for every day. For 254 days, I will send you an email to an unlisted video that if you watch it, will shift your confidence forward. The links to join for free are in the description below. Find whatever the smallest first step is, and then the smallest next step is, and continue to build those steps. And when you look back, you'll have realized that you made some pretty significant progress.
Successful people take responsibility for where they are in life.
One, to get a little bit more credibility. If you're just getting started, people may not know you. There's still a little bit of a cachet around having a book with a major publisher.
Rule number 4, be a problem solver.
Making money is about solving problems. That's the core of business. Someone has a problem, you see a solution, they pay you to solve it. If you're not making money, it's because you haven't solved a big enough problem yet. So let's use my YouTube channels as an example. Now we got so many YouTube channels, it's crazy. I saw a problem. I saw a need, right? I wanted visual content. I wanted to learn from successful entrepreneurs and I wanted it done in a visual way. I used to read books a lot because books was the only way that I was able to get this information. I didn't have mentors to teach me about business, right? I had my parents who were amazing, who taught me how to be a human, but I didn't have any face-to-face mentors that I can go to, so I went to books. But I'm a visual learner. I'd much rather see it. I get a lot more by seeing Simon talk about a message than by reading his book. I just do. It's how I learn. And I think a lot of people are visual learners. And so it's why I started my YouTube channel. I started showcasing successful stories. I started sharing my story as well in the process. And it's been that duality from the beginning of saying, here's what you can learn from successful people. And here's my message as well. So DJ plus thought leader mixed together, and here we go. And we've had success because it solves the problem. Because a lot of you have the same problem. My problem is your problem. You want more success around you. You want to be surrounded by these people just like I did. And instead of you having to watch 40 hours of Simon Sinek content to find the best and mush it together, I do it for you. I actually didn't want to even have a YouTube channel. I didn't want to do this. I wish you did this. If one of you did this, I would just subscribe. Be great, be free. Here we go, amazing. It didn't exist. It wasn't out there. So I did it. And that's the process. You could scratch your own itch. You can see what problems other people have. But success in business comes from solving other people's problems. You subscribe to this channel because you like the content, because hopefully like the content. It adds value to your life. It solves a problem. It sets you up for the day. That's why I have this morning espresso series. It's 5 times a week, Monday to Friday, set you up for the day, give you this shot of energy, motivation plus ideas to help you go off and build your business. This is the problem that I solve. What's the big problem that you solve? Now, there's 3 different kinds of problems that you can solve. I'm gonna break them down for you right here. Number 1 is solve a big problem for a few people. You solve a big problem. This is where you get into really custom consulting or super expensive products. Not everybody can buy a Ferrari, right? It solves a problem for a few people who have a lot of money. It means something to them, and so they put it into it, right? If you're looking at super high-end medical treatments, right? Is it a big problem? Yes, right? Like, this person might die if they don't get the medical treatment. It might be something super rare that doesn't hit a lot of people. And so to get treatment, it often costs tons and tons and tons of money, but people are willing to pay it. They go into massive debt to pay it because they don't want to die, or they don't want their family members to die. And so you're solving a really big problem, a huge problem for a tiny group of people, and you charge a lot of money. Option number 2 is solve a small problem for a lot of people. That's what a lot of what my content is about, right? My content, for the most part, is not life or death, right? If you don't have access to my videos, you're not gonna die, probably, right? I hope not. But I hit a lot of people, right? I wanna solve the world's biggest problem. I wanna hit 1 billion people with my content. I'm trying to spread a message in a tiny way across a lot of people. I'm not gonna meet most of you. I've got my tour coming up, by the way. If anybody wants to join me in the tour, link in the description. Come meet me on tour, looking forward to it. But besides that, I'm probably not gonna meet most of you. That's okay. I'm trying to touch people with my videos, with my books, in a meaningful way, but in a small way, right? If I'm part of your success, I'm half of 1%. You're still going off and doing the work. I don't know most of you personally. That's amazing. I'm solving a small problem for a lot of people. And option number 3 is solve a big problem for a lot of people. And this is the hardest one to do. This is if you solve cancer, it's gonna help a lot of people, and it's a really, 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 really big problem. So those are your 3 options. You either solve a big problem for a few people, you solve a small problem for a ton of people, or you solve a big problem for a lot of people. But at the end of the day, you have to solve problems. If you're solving problems and it's meaningful to the people that you're selling to, you're gonna make money. That's the core business. You wanna make money? Help more people. You wanna make money quickly? Help more people quickly. That's the process.
Rule number 5, explore.
Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. What I took away most from that definition is the word progressive. You want progress. You wanna learn. You want to keep growing. What was once a challenge for you is now simple, and it's very easy to fall into a routine that once served you but is now limiting you. The day you stop progressing is the day that you start to hate your life, and it can be sneaky. It could sneak up on you without you even noticing what happened. So I was trying to think of a personal story to share with you about this, and I realized it's been more than 10 years since I've actually felt that. I felt that I've stopped progressing, that I started to hate what I was doing. It's been over 10 years. It was basically since I started on YouTube, and I'm gonna share with you the hacks that I used so that you won't fall into that rut. But what happened for me 10 years ago was I built my website, right? I sold my business, I had success, I was speaking around the world. I started building my website, and I built it into a giant platform. We had 100,000 plus pages of content, making money from advertising, and I just stopped liking the business. It started to feel like we're putting out content, we're putting out articles, just trying to make money, putting out articles that I didn't always believe 100% in. We had a bunch of guest people writing content, right? We had 4,000 or 5,000 authors for the website, and not all of their opinions or views or mindset or voice reflected my own. And I just stopped liking the business. It was a successful business, making money, building a team. I had 8 people, I think, at that time. And I decided, you know what, I'm losing the love for this. I need to try new things. And I started making YouTube videos. It was one experiment. I probably did a bunch of different things, but YouTube was one experiment that I sucked at, but I loved, and I kept coming back to. And it taught me a lesson. It taught me that you need to explore. This is what I tell a lot of people when they're entrepreneurs. I had a woman, Melissa, who joined me on an IG Live the other day, and she's talking about how she's got a real estate business that's making her money, but she wants to be a speaker. And the speaking business is growing. It can't support her fully yet, but the real estate business gives her a lot of money. She's like, well, I like doing both. It's like, well, no, you don't. Right? Like in 5 years, where do you want to be? Do you want to still be doing real estate? No, 5 years, I don't want to be doing that. I want to be doing the speaking thing. Like, great, that's where you need to start spending more of your time. It doesn't mean quit the job. It doesn't mean stop doing real estate or stop doing the thing that you're just okay with. But while you still have one foot in it, you have to explore, you have to try, you have to taste, you got to see what else you can do. Spend 1 day a week, 2 days a week, depending on your financial situation. This is my advice to her. Spend 1 day or 2 days a week focusing on the speaking business so that in 6 months you could be out of the real estate business and be in speaking full time. And then doing the thing that you love, right? If you just like it, that should be a warning sign to get out. Not ASAP, but you need to start exploring. But so many people end up hating the thing that they're doing. So many entrepreneurs start a business, they love it, it's challenging, it's exciting, it's exhilarating. And then they found that they bought themselves a job and they actually hate their business. And then it becomes too late to get out because you can't find the person to sell it to, or you just have to walk away from it. But so many people just like it and you're not exploring enough to chase down the opportunity. So that's 10 years ago, it's the last time I felt it. I'm gonna give you a 3-step formula that I use on a consistent basis that I think you can use too. Step number 1 is constantly judge your energy. Constantly judge your energy. If you are going into work, right, going into your office, whether your office is a home office or a basement or a real office, if you're ever going in feeling like, oh, you need to really pay attention to that, especially if it's multiple days in a row. And a one-off, something can happen. Maybe you didn't sleep well. Maybe something happened in your personal life. Okay, that's fine. And listen, there are definitely days that stuff sucks in the business, right? And that's okay. Not every day is sunshine and rainbows and amazing, but net you should love it. If for multiple days you're coming into the office, you're like, oh, you're dreading going into work, something has to change. Like, pay attention to the energy, because too many people get locked in that negative energy without realizing it. And then you slowly start to hate your life and start destroying relationships, start destroying your business. You need to be doing things that give you energy. I still like making videos. I'm pumped. Like I had a crazy week and I scheduled these for the end of my day to start filming these things, and I love it. Like it just gives me energy, right? This is enthusiasm injected into me to make these things, right? I love it. But I may not always love it, right? I could get to the point, I've done 6,000 plus videos now and I still love it, but there will get maybe a point where I say, I don't know. I don't want to do these videos. And then I walk away, right? But in that walk away moment, there's a transition phase, hopefully, in that maybe I sell the channel to somebody else, maybe I bring in somebody else in transition, maybe I figure out, maybe there's one video series that I don't like, and this one I do like, and start focusing on that, right? You have to pay attention to your energy. You have to do work, activities, be around people that raise your energy up, and when something is causing negative energy, you have to move away from it. The challenge is a lot of times the things that used to give you positive energy are now giving you negative energy because you've grown as a person, you've grown as a human, but you haven't grown the work you're doing alongside. Step number 2 is go from idea to action. You guys watching this, you're creative, you got ideas, you got lots of stuff flowing through your head. Teach yourself that you do something about it. Don't go scatterbrained, don't worry about it, everything being perfect and running 1,000 different directions. If you're constantly getting distracted, it's actually a sign that you're doing the wrong thing. If I was making this video and I'm thinking about all this other stuff, I'm thinking about the traffic and I'm thinking about my tour and I'm thinking about, running out of water in here and I'm thinking about League of Legends, it means I should not be doing these videos. When I'm making these videos, I'm here with you. That's it. I want you to get a message. I want to emit. I'm trying my best. I may not always deliver, but I'm trying and I'm focused and I'm here with you 100%. If I was doing accounting, man, I'd be distracted and daydreaming all the time. So it's a good sign. If you're constantly daydreaming and getting distracted from the work you're doing, you probably should. People say like double down and focus. I think you probably shouldn't be doing that thing because you can only force yourself to do something you don't like for so long before you give up and quit. So then teach yourself that the ideas that come into your head, that they're great ideas. And then find the smallest possible way to get started. Idea to action. Ideas flow through me. Ideas flow through you. You get an idea for something, what's the smallest possible way to just take some kind of action on it? Send an email, DM somebody, like what's the first step that you can take to build a little bit of momentum on that idea and then see if it has legs. You have to. Because in those moments that feel like a total waste of time, you're gonna create gold. That's your next big breakthrough. One of those genius ideas that's coming to you that you're not acting on. And then step number 3 is understand that you are built to serve. You're built to serve. If you're not happy, it's because you're not serving. If you don't feel fulfilled, it's because you're not serving. I have a new book coming out. It's called Built to Serve. We'll put the link down below if you want to go pre-order it right now. But I walk people through a process of how to find what their purpose is, because helping people is hardwired into you. You want to help people. It's hardwired into humans, like 99.99999%. It is a tiny little percentage of us who want to kill people and enjoy that, right? But that's not most of you. That's not most of us. Hopefully not people watching this channel, right? You're hardwired to serve. You feel good serving people. And so if you are not happy in your life, it's because you're not serving people. Either the world, you have a big mission. Probably most of you watching this video, we want to build a company. We want to serve many, many, many people. But not everybody's built to serve the world. Some people are built to serve the 25 closest people to them. 20, 25, 30, close, family, friends, connections. If you're not happy, it's because you're not serving. And so pay attention to that. A simple question to ask yourself is, how can I serve somebody today? What can I do that will help them in a meaningful way? Feel good, solve a problem. And in doing that, you're lifting yourself up too.
Rule number 6, build momentum.
The only thing missing in your life is momentum. You're a genius. You've got great ideas. You are the Michael Jordan of something. The only thing that is stopping you is your ability to do difficult things and start building momentum. I think for so many people, it's not just doing the thing that scares you first thing in the morning, it's doing it at all. Most people just don't do it at all. You've got a great idea. You know it can work, but you're afraid of judgment. You don't know where to start. You're afraid of it being not perfect and people telling you that you suck and you failing publicly. You're afraid of all that stuff, and so you don't do anything. You got your foot on the gas and brake at the same time, knowing that you're capable of more, knowing that you have greatness in here, but then being too afraid to go off and execute it. And so I think not just starting your day with the thing that scares you, just moving, doing something, anything, just getting started on your crazy idea. It's not that you're leaving it to the afternoon, it's that most people aren't doing it at all. So I was on a call with an entrepreneur friend of mine yesterday, and she was upset, she was frustrated. She had decided mid last year, right? June, July last year, that she needed to let somebody go on her team. This person was being toxic in their environment, was still producing results for the company, but just being a big drag on the company, on the culture, and on herself as trying to lead this team of people. And so she decided, I gotta let this person go. It's 6-7 months later now, and she still hasn't done it. She still hasn't done it because she's afraid of maybe not finding the right person to replace, the impact of having to go through training and hiring all over again. And she just hasn't made the decision. The biggest problem is she has not decided. And so I said, when is this gonna matter to you? You decided, right? Last year, 6, 7, 8 months ago, and you still haven't done the thing. And she said, well, if it gets to a year and I still haven't done it, then I have to go off and do it. And this is where your standards come into place. How long after you've made a decision do you actually start to do something about it? In her case, her standards were a year, in that she decided, but then a year later, that's when it's too much. That's when it's gone too far. That if she hasn't done it in a year, now it's too much. I want you to shorten that gap. Teach yourself that as soon as you decide, you do something, you act, you put the plan into motion, because you don't have that many years left. I look at her, she's not old yet, she's not midlife yet, but you don't have that many years left. And this isn't even that big a decision. Whatever is in front of you is not actually that big a decision. There are much bigger decisions ahead. It may feel like a big decision. It may feel like it. But after you've done it and you get through it, you realize, I could do that again. And there's another bigger decision ahead. You need to shorten the gap between deciding that you want to do something and actually taking action towards it. I'm going to give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step 1 is identify, what do you need to do that scares you? What do you need to do? You have ambitions, you have goals, you have dreams, you know you want to accomplish something big, right? You know you're capable of more. What do you want to do that scares you? If you have big dreams, it needs to come with a healthy dose of fear. If you're not afraid of what you want to do, it's not big enough. If you wake up and just do the things that you know how to do and what to do, you actually hate your life. You're just waking up and doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. You want to do something bigger, and that's scary. So what is it? What is the most important thing that you need to do right now in your business or your life that scares you? Number 2, identify what is the BS out that you keep giving yourself. You're giving yourself an out. You're letting yourself off the hook. You're telling yourself, I'll do it after X. I'll do it when this. You keep giving yourself a reason why not to do it today. What is the BS reason? It's not total BS. There's some logic in it because you're a smart person. You wouldn't come up with some really stupid reason why you can't do it. You're giving yourself a really smart reason why you can't do it yet, right? It's scary. It's not because you're afraid. Of course not. It's because of this very logical thing. And once I get through this, then I can do it. But then once you get through that thing, there's something new in the way, right? And you keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. So identify what is the BS out, the BS excuse, the BS reason that you are giving yourself for not pulling the trigger today. And then step number 3 is how will you build momentum for it today? Today matters. Today, you wrote it down. Teach yourself. The fact that you wrote it down, the fact that you're thinking about it means you have to do something about it. You are not allowed, no more, not anymore. You are not allowed to think of something that scares you that you want to do. You want to do it and it scares you. You are not allowed to put it off anymore. You are not allowed to then sit and say, well, I'll do it later. You may not be able to fully do it right now, but some small step, an email, research, a phone call, something, some small step right now, immediately to say, I'm going to build momentum towards this. That's what you want to teach yourself. That's one of the greatest gifts that you can ever teach yourself, is that as soon as you come up with an idea, that you are a genius, that you are Michael Jordan, that you are capable, that you will figure it out, and that it's scary. And that's amazing because you do scary things. Identify the BS reasons why you're not actually doing it, and then today, immediately build some kind of momentum towards it.
Rule number 7, the last one before our very special bonus clips, stick to what you know.
The biggest mistake so many entrepreneurs make is they jump into a business because they see that it's a hot opportunity. You don't love it, you don't know much about it, but so many people are talking about it and it looks like an easy way to make a lot of money. Big mistake. Don't do that. It's the fastest way to go broke. So Warren Buffett did not invest in Amazon, but he's still done pretty well for himself. He didn't invest in Amazon because he doesn't like tech, he doesn't know it, he doesn't love it, he doesn't live in that space, and so he doesn't want to buy those kinds of companies. And great, he missed out on Amazon, but he also missed out on all the tech companies that didn't make it, that he could have put money into that just would have gone to zero. He knows what he's great at, he knows what he loves, and he sticks in his arena. I look at what I'm doing. There's so many opportunities that come my way that I know nothing about, I have no interest in, and don't want to have interest in, that I'm losing money on, right? I don't like real estate. I hate real estate. I don't want to be in it. I don't want to learn about it. I don't like real estate. It's not that it's not a good opportunity. It's just not for me. It's boring to me. I have zero interest in real estate. It's great for so many people. So many people have built amazing wealth and generational wealth based off of real estate. Amazing. I'm pumped for you. It's just not the thing that I want to be in. Cryptocurrency, right? People, when Bitcoin was taking off, everybody was a cryptocurrency expert. I know nothing about cryptocurrency. I've bought 0 cryptocurrency in my life. I've been given 0 cryptocurrency in my life. Is cryptocurrency the future? Yep. When is it gonna come? I don't know. Is it gonna be Bitcoin? I don't know. I don't know anything about cryptocurrency. I get the mechanics and the general theory and I know that it's coming, but it's not the opportunity for me. CBD is a big thing now, right? Everybody's getting into CBD and CBD oils and CBD products, and great. And it's becoming legal here in Canada, or it already is legal in a bunch of our provinces, and it's going to be legalized across many states, if not the whole country. Awesome. It's not me. I'm not into CBD. I don't smoke any marijuana. I never have. I'm not interested in it. It may help you, it may alleviate your pain, amazing. This may be the greatest gift you've ever seen in your life, amazing. But if you're only jumping into it because you think it's a hot opportunity, you're gonna lose. That being said, I'm also involved in so many things that are hot opportunities. I'm drowning in opportunities. I have too many opportunities that I know what to do with, let alone don't know what to do with. Looking at YouTube. YouTube right now is still a massive opportunity. There's so many people who look at what I've done, who look at what Gary have done and Grant Cardone and those guys have done and say, I want to do it. YouTube is blowing up, it's popping, it's exploding. If you're a thought leader, if you want to have educational content, YouTube is still a huge opportunity. Most people who are the experts at what they do are not on YouTube. That means you can go on, even with a little bit less expertise, and go and crush it, because the people who are the best in the world at doing it, they're not doing it. It's a huge opportunity. It's a big white space still right now. Even though I've been on it for 10 years, YouTube has evolved a lot over the past decade, and there's still tons of white space open and available. I need to push that opportunity harder. I look at thought leadership as another one. Thought leadership, the stuff that I'm doing, the videos like this, the teaching that I've done, the workshops that I've done. People want to be a thought leader, not just an influencer, but a thought leader. And I'm at the center of that trend. I'm helping train a lot of thought leaders. People are coming to me asking me for help in becoming a thought leader, in making content, in being able to do good videos, and being able to get speaking gigs, book deals, all of it. People want it. It's happening. And I'm at the center of that trend too. League of Legends. I love League of Legends. I've been playing League of Legends for, this is 6 years. This is my 6th year playing League of Legends. I played Teemo. Look, I got Teemo here. I got Teemo here. I got Tristana here. I've named my dogs Teemo and Tristana, right? I play 3 games a night on my Twitch stream. You can come to my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/BelieveTeam. Come join me. I play there 3 games a night. I'm trying to get the gold this season, which means I'm in the top 10% of players in North America. So it's my ambition for the year. I watch League of Legends every weekend. I have a TSM jersey. Let me get it. I have a TSM jersey. I'm a fan. I love League of Legends. I love esports. If you're getting into esports, just because it's a hot opportunity and you don't love it, you're gonna die, you're gonna lose. I look at Gary Vee as an example, and Gary's done an amazing job in hip hop. An amazing job in hip hop, and he's brought so many different artists on, from the top of Nipsey Hussle all the way down to people who are just breaking in and trying to get their start. He loves hip hop, he loves the lyrics, he loves the culture, and so he's really built a name for himself inside of hip hop. He got into Twitch a little bit. He had a Twitch studio set up in his office, and he started doing a little bit of gaming, but he's not a gamer. He hasn't done gaming in decades. And so it's not authentic for him, and so he's not gonna win there. I love esports, I love League of Legends, I love gaming. It's part of what I do. I can talk to you about the current roster for TSM and my thoughts on it. I can talk to you about the new patch that came out on League of Legends and how Teemo's doing. I like it. It's just, I genuinely like it. And so I have these opportunities in front of me already within YouTube, within thought leadership, within esports, that I can take advantage of and blow up in. And I don't need to worry about real estate and cryptocurrency and CBD and all the other millions of opportunities out there. There's already tons of opportunities inside the things that you already know and love. The things that you know and love, there's lots of people who know and love that thing too. And they're looking for guidance, they're looking for help. They need answers. You could be the person who gives them the answers. Jumping on some train because you think it's a hot opportunity and a chance to make money is the fastest way that you will lose money, because you don't understand anything about that. If you don't love esports, don't go spend money on an esports team. You're gonna lose. You don't even know what you're doing. Inside the things that you love and know is a tremendous opportunity, and that's what you need to focus on. Most people focus on the problem instead of the solution, and that is why they fail. I like to say that there are a million reasons why your ideas will never work out, and only 8 why they will. Either way, you're right. So it's better to focus on the 8. Your heroes, the people that you look up to, the people that you love and want to be like, right? Your heroes all succeeded with less than what you currently have right now. If they can all do it, so can you. The only thing in your way are your excuses. So one of the things that I love most about both my wife and my team is that they're always willing to find a way. One of the things that Nina loves most about herself, I had her fill out this form maybe 2 years ago of like, what do you love most about yourself? And at the top was, she's a fast learner. She loves learning new things. She loves taking on new challenges. And I love that. I love that about her. And I love that in people. I think you should be a fast learner. I think you should love learning. I think you should always be taking on new opportunities. Right now on my YouTube channel, I've split up my channel into 8 or 9 different channels, and then just recently I split them up again, where we launched a top 10 channel just for the top 10 videos. So the top 10 videos aren't on my main channel anymore, and then we're doing an everything channel where if you just want all the content, it's all on one spot. So it's chaos, it's crazy. My whole team has to be restructured, and everybody's taking on new projects and responsibilities, and we were supposed to have a 1-month transition phase to do it. That was the recommendation. That was the aggressive recommendation, is to have a 1-month transition period. And for me, 1 month just is death. It's just death. I mean, I said, oh, okay, great, 1 month. But then as I'm into it, on the Tuesday of like the first week, like, guys, we need to launch like this weekend. We need to launch this weekend. Let's go, right? And there's so many reasons why it's not gonna work, and there's so many problems, and yes, we're gonna make so many mistakes, and people aren't trained properly, and there's more work, and we need to we figure out who wants to do what and how. So many issues. Awesome. Let's go. I think about Ray, for example, on my team, who has been doing all these thumbnails. So I have a set design for my top 10 rules thumbnails that people love, and it's been going like that for years. And I've always been on my team to say, I don't care that everybody thinks our thumbnails are great. They can be better. How do we make them better? And so finally, after years of testing, we finally found the format that would win, that would beat our original thumbnails. And there's minor differences. We zoom in on the face, we got rid of the second logo, make the text bigger, minor differences. And then Ray's been going back and updating split tests, doing against our old videos. And we have 1,400 different split tests on our videos. It's crazy. I think I split test more than anybody on YouTube. So he's going back and updating all the old thumbnails and trying to prove a winner each time. And he's maybe, I don't know, halfway through. Think about it, how many videos we have on the channel. We've got 6,000 videos. A lot of them are top 10s. Now with this change, I found a new format. We found a new format, a new thumbnail, different color scheme, different text, different pictures, different logo, new thumbnail format, and we found that it's working. And so I said, Ray, I know you just changed all the thumbnails. We gotta do it again. He's like, this is so exciting, let's go. Like, I love this guy so much, right? Where most people, what are they're gonna complain. They're gonna say, I just did all this work on this other thing, right? You don't want to be around people like that, and you definitely don't want to be that. For too many people, the problem is for so many people, that's you. That's not even people around you, that's you. You're thinking about all the sunk costs that you put into something. You're thinking about, I invested so much into this thing, and now you want me to shift everything? Yep. You need to be on the yep side now. You need to adopt that kind of mindset, that kind of personality. That just because I worked before doesn't mean it's gonna keep working. You find something new, it's better. Let's go. This is what the whole game is about. So how do you do it? How do you be more resourceful? I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is focus on the 8. So I said at the beginning, there are a million reasons why it's not gonna work out. And if you talk to your friends and family and social media, they'll find a million more reasons why it's not gonna work out. Great, there's a million reasons why it's not gonna work out. Now there's 2 million, and there's 8 while it will. Only focus on the 8. Focus on the 8. Be rigid, be disciplined. Stop thinking about, those negative things are still there, awesome. Those reasons, sure, are awesome, great. I'm only focused on the 8. I don't care about all the reasons why it's not gonna work out. That's where most of the world lives. That's the land of negativity. I'm here, and it's a small lane. It's easier. There's only 8 reasons why I'm gonna win. I'm just gonna pick those 8 and focus on that. That's it, choose. It's a choice. You're right either way, right? You are right. If you say, I'm not gonna win because I don't have the education and the resources and the money and the parents, and you're right. You've already decided, you're right. Yes, absolutely, you're right. But people with less resources, less connections, less ideas, less talent, less skills than you, they've done it. You're just full of excuses. If you want to believe the excuses, then you have already lost. If you want to buy into the 8 reasons why you're going to win and surround yourself with your heroes who have done it, and that's a daily source of inspiration for you to keep going off and doing it, then you will win. Focus on the 8, not the million. Number 2 is model success. This is what really helped me. I mean, now I have all these channels and we're modeling success all day long, and I've built an entire business around this, but this is the thing that saved my business from the first start, right? Like Bill Gates, how he built Microsoft saved my company, right? Learning from his story made me finally start to have some success in my business. And then from there, every morning I would read a little bit about a successful entrepreneur. Now I'd much rather watch a video than read, but hack your own learning style. Maybe you prefer to listen to podcasts. I listen to 0 podcasts because I'm not an auditory learner. Learning how to model success, finding people who've done the thing that you want to do does 2 things. 1, it gives you hope. Seeing what they came from. Like, go look at Oprah's story. Seeing what she came from. And then for you to say that you have less resources, less available to you than Oprah did at the time that she was growing up is ludicrous, is crazy. You're way more equipped just because you have the internet than Oprah ever did when she was getting started. But maybe you hate Oprah, awesome, great. Who do you want to learn from? Jeff Bezos, awesome, go look at his story. Look at the people who you look up to, your heroes, study them. Not how they make an extra $1 million now, but 0 to 1. How did they get started? What did they have to go through? Learn from them, study them. And it gives you inspiration to know that it's possible, and it gives you strategies. Because chances are what worked for them could also work for you. It won't work for you 100%. It's like trying on this cowboy hat that's just a little bit too oversized. and you gotta tweak it and take in some of the sides, maybe add a little bit more stitching somewhere so that it fits. But modeling success takes you 80% of the way. You don't have to come up with all the genius ideas yourself. The model's been proven. Go out, copy it, apply it to yourself, and start winning. And step number 3 is tell yourself this is just a warm-up. I love this strategy. I think this is one of the greatest things you can ever do for your self-confidence, self-love, self-respect, is whenever it's difficult, whenever it's hard, whenever you're at your breaking point, whenever you're like, oh, I don't know if I can keep going, you tell yourself, this is just the warm-up. This is just a warm-up. I'm capable of way more than this. And what it does is it actually tricks your brain a little bit to believe in it. And now you've just broken through a comfort zone. Now you've broken through to another level of excellence. You've just raised your standards a little bit higher. It's extremely powerful. So let's think about it. If that thing that is all consuming, all encompassing, is all you're capable of doing right now, that's a problem. That means you're never gonna grow beyond this thing, right? You're never gonna scale and become something bigger because this is the max that you're capable of doing. And I remember talking to Alex, who helps me run Toronto Dance Salsa, and what he was stressing out about. And we have big ambitions for this business. We have big ambitions for where Toronto Dance Salsa needs to be, and Alex needs to be the guy to lead it. If this little thing that feels all encompassing, right? But if this little thing owns you, you're never gonna get here. So tell yourself, this is just a warm-up. I'm capable of way more than this. Way more than, this is the beginning, this is baby steps. I'm way stronger than this. Tell yourself that. Say it out loud. Tell yourself, this is just a warm-up. Like that, put your hand down, it's just a warm-up. Say that 3 times and see how you feel. And then get to work, because you know what? It is just a warm-up and you're capable of way more. Let's go. There will be moments in your business where you will need to have superhuman strength to keep going, where it just demands everything from you, every single ounce that you have. But if you need to have superhuman energy every single day, you're gonna burn out and fail. So whenever I wanna try something new, when I'm testing something new, I always eat into some of my reserves. It may mean to go off into this new project, I'm gonna sleep less or spend a little bit less time working on my book or a little less time working on my YouTube channel, right? You eat into these reserves, but that's not sustainable. If that's what you're doing constantly, you're gonna be unhappy, you're gonna burn out, you're gonna fail. So a quick example, Sadhguru came to Toronto. Sadhguru, if you don't know, he's a yogi, he's an Indian mystic. We did a top 10 on him. He then invited me to come to his event in Toronto and then do a one-on-one interview with him close to the Toronto airport, the island. It was amazing, great time. Out of that, he says, Evan, I want you to come to my multi-day event in the US. I want you to come, be a VIP guest there. It'd be amazing to have you. Awesome. But before you do that, you have to do my 7-day program where you have to meditate every day for 7 days. And I think it's an hour plus every day. I didn't have an hour a day, right? I mean, that's not part of what I had in my calendar. Every hour in my calendar is accounted for. It doesn't mean I'm working all that time, but I might be spending time with my wife. I might be spending time with my son. Every hour is accounted for. And so to do this, I had to eat into some of my reserves. And so for that one, I asked Nina, I said, Nina, if you're gonna come with me, you have to do this too. Do we want to spend our hour in the evening, instead of watching a show, instead of relaxing, to do this program for 7 days for meditation? And she said yes. And so here's the thing, we did it for 7 days and we went to the event, it was awesome. If it was something that we were going to continue, if we were gonna meditate every day for an hour ongoing, then I'd have to readjust my schedule. Your success comes from your habits. You need to figure out what a balanced life looks like for you. Now, ultimately, I don't meditate an hour every night. I do some healing meditation for my neck every morning, but that habit didn't stick, and that's okay. So when you're testing new habits, testing new ideas, testing something for your business, or some emergency comes up that you have to deal with, it's gonna tap into your reserves. You can't be running your business at full capacity already. You can't be running your business on zero, on empty, because that means there's no extra gear. That means that when life punches you in the face, you can't handle it. That means if you want to try or taste or test something else, you can't do it because you have no reserves, you have no battery, there's no more gas in the tank. And so that's where a lot of entrepreneurs live. That's where it's really troublesome. That's where a lot of entrepreneurs will end up burning out, failing, and crushing their dreams, because you're just running with no gas left in the tank. And so you can stretch yourself. I think that's normal. I think that's okay. I think life will hit you in the face. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, here comes another punch. That will happen. but it's making sure that you can live that balanced life, whatever balance looks like for you. So how do you handle these things when they come up? I'm going to give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is tell yourself it's the best. When life punches you in the face, when you get some crisis that happens, I try to run a no crisis business, but that is not always possible. Stuff will still happen, and if it's not in your business life, it'll happen in your personal life. When life punches you in the face and you can't get out of it and you have to address it, you have to deal with it, instead of living in the land of negativity and complaining and why me and despair and desperation, I flip it. I complain for 8.5 seconds and then say, this is the best. It's the best. This is the best thing ever. Because what it does is it puts you in a state of resourcefulness. It puts you in a place where you can then go and solve the problem. So I'm going to meditate for an hour a night. This is the best, right? I'm sitting next to the smelly dude on the airplane. It's the best. Because what's the alternative? You're stuck next to the smelly guy on the airplane. What's the alternative? The alternative is you sit on the plane and you're upset and you freak out and you complain and you're negative and grumpy and unhappy. And that's not going to allow you to create beautiful, amazing things for your business or your life. So when you're forced into that situation, when life hits you by surprise, tell yourself this is the best. This is your chance to prove to yourself and the world what you're actually made of. Step number 2 is if this is an ongoing problem, then you need to fix your life. Right? If it's every single day that this is happening, then you can't tell yourself it's the best every day, because it's the best allows you to tap into those reserves. It allows you to find that extra little bit of juice in the gas tank to keep going and solve this big problem. But if it's every day that you're stressed out to the max, that you're not sleeping, that you have no energy, that you're hating the work that you're doing, you need to fix your life. You can't get up every day and just tell yourself it's the best, because you're going to run out of energy. There's no reserves left. You will fail. You will disappoint yourself. You will just run out. And so you are what you consistently do. You look at your calendar and there's something in there that is broken. You need to fix your life if every day you are stressed out. And then step number 3 is schedule for success. So your habits will dictate your success. Your actions need to map to your ambitions. What balance looks like for you needs to be reflected in your habits. You can say, here's what balance looks like for me, but if you're not living it, you're not going to be happy, and you're going to run out of energy, and you're going to burn out, and you're going to start to hate your life. So what does a balanced life look like for you? How much time do you want to spend with your family, with your significant other, on your business, on yourself, personal development, working out, singing, hobbies, dancing, friends, whatever it is that you want to do? What does a balanced life for you look like? And this is something that only you can judge. What I do, what The Rock does, what Sadhguru does, what Dan Locke does, what anybody that we profile, whatever they do, what Elon Musk does. Don't compare yourself to Elon Musk and his schedule. You can use his schedule as guidance, as an idea, as here's something that somebody is doing that is possible, but maybe that's not for you. You try on the hat and then you see. So you have to decide, what does balance look like for you? And then take out your calendar every day of the week from Sunday to the next Sunday and put everything in. Here's how much time I want to spend on these different activities. Because if you want balance and it looks like this, and then you look at your calendar and it's totally different, you're going to run out of energy and not like your life. Schedule for success. If you live your life based off the opinions of other people, you will never do anything great. Take a look at who you're worried about. People who are not happy with their life. People who never went and took their shot. People who spend their life complaining instead of trying to change something. Is that who you want to be so worried about, what they think about your decisions? If anything, you want to do the exact opposite of what they're telling you to do. You don't want their life. So stop living your life by their rules. So I had an amazing one-on-one with an entrepreneur yesterday at my Q&A session here in Toronto that I do weekly. And I feel for her. She's such a talented, amazing, gifted entrepreneur. And we talked about your purpose coming from your pain. And she went through some massive pain that guided her to this success right now and on her path to personal development. But she's afraid to share what happened. And she said, maybe in a year or two. Like, give me a year to work on it and maybe I'll share it. Because she's afraid of what people will think. She's afraid that if it doesn't work out, that she may not be able to get another job. She's afraid of all these things that people might say about her if they found out the truth. The problem is that's your path. I don't care about where you're at right now. I need to know where you've come from. I need to know that you look like me. I need to know that your story is like mine. And so by living in the shadows and being afraid to tell the truth, what you're doing is, 1, not letting people connect to you as a real person, right? This fake, perfect version of you isn't something that people can connect to. 2, you make it so that whatever you went through, you're telling yourself that it's shameful
And you're telling other people that it's shameful too. But if you come out and talk about what happened, then the people who feel ashamed about it, they now can come out and say, I'm not the only one. This happens to other people too. I'm a little bit more normal. And 3, if you want to build a business, if you want to create a YouTube channel, if you want to have a podcast, you want to be an author, you want to write a book, that's the thing that's going to actually help take you off. That's the thing. There was a great video that I told her about a woman who gained 70 pounds from having a child. So she's pregnant, she gained 70 pounds, and she had a 10-pound baby, and now she had 60 pounds of extra fat on her, right? 60 pounds. So that's a lot. And so she's trying to lose it, and she's working out, and she's eating healthy, and she finally gets down to having 6-pack abs and looking great. And then somebody noticed that when she bent over, that they could see the flaps of skin. When she stood up, it was all 6-pack, but when she bent over, there was flaps of skin. And what most people would have done is deleted that video, pretend like it didn't exist, not talk about that comments, right? Only show the perfect version. Look how much weight I lost. But she did something different. Instead, she said, yeah, that's my body now. That's what happens when you gain 70 pounds in pregnancy and pump out a 10-pound baby. And that became a rallying cry. That one moment of vulnerability, of saying, hey, I'm still not perfect. Like, look at this saggy skin that I still have. That's what brought people to her. Now she's not just another mom who lost weight and did this workout plan and meal plan, right? That connection was real. And now she's built $1 million plus business from selling e-courses and her recipes and everything else that she goes through. That's the thing. This is your competitive advantage. Your purpose, your pain, your story is your competitive advantage. I do not want to learn from you until I know that you've been through what I'm going through. I can't relate to that story, right? I can't tell that story. I can't tell a mom who gained 70 pounds how to lose weight. That's not my story. I can't relate to it. But helping entrepreneurs, I can, because I struggled and I suffered and I was making $300 a month and I was eating the same bean salad lunch every day and I celebrated with only McDonald's French fries because I couldn't afford to buy it. All of it. I struggle with fear and embarrassment and shame. All of it. I know what it's like. I've been through that. And why I do what I do now is because I want to try to make the path a little bit easier for the next generation of entrepreneurs, for you. I want you to feel like you're not alone. I want you to feel like there's a place you can come to with a beautiful community, a Believe Nation, where we're supporting each other. And there's content every single day across multiple channels that you can go and digest and dive into and hopefully make your path just a little bit easier. Because I wish I had this when I was getting started, when I was a 19-year-old entrepreneur who was insecure and ashamed and embarrassed and not willing to talk to anybody about the problems I was going through. Right? That's the thing that will connect people to you. But if you're so afraid of what people's judgments are going to be, you're never going to get started. I believe humans are built to serve. You're built to serve. You want to help other people. It's hardwired into us. Studies show that the impact of serving other people has the same effect on your brain as food and sex. It's hardwired into you. You want to help other people. And at the same time, you're afraid of judgment. So how do you help other people if you're also afraid of judgment? It's having your foot on the gas and a brake at the same time. You know you're capable of more, but then you're just standing on the same spot. It's the worst. And so you have to let go of the opinions of other people. Some people may not like what you're doing. That's okay. That can't prevent you from service. That can't prevent you from fulfilling your mission. That can't prevent you from living the life you want, because you're going to be 95 years old, looking back on your life and regretting it, knowing you're capable of more, but never taking action. So how do you better deal with criticism? I'm going to give you a 3-step process. Step number 1 is have empathy. Have empathy. If you believe like I believe that humans are built to serve, right? We're built to serve. Then if somebody is being critical and negative when they are built to serve, how bad does their life have to be that is forcing them to act this way? How bad does somebody's life have to be to come to your YouTube video and leave a nasty comment, or to tell you to your face that you suck and your idea is never going to work? How bad does their life have to be? So have some empathy. Like, their life sucks. And they're lashing out at not just you, everybody around them. So have empathy. When you have empathy, it removes the sting out of the words. Right now, it doesn't touch you as much because, if anything, you feel sorry for that person. You don't have to say, hey, I feel so sorry for you. You don't need to go and make it worse or have it go on an ego trip. But just know inside, have empathy, feel sorry for them, and not let it hit you as hard when they're giving you some criticism about your idea or you. Number 2 is look for a gem. a lot of times in the criticism, there's actually something you can learn from. A lot of times when somebody criticizes their idea or leaves a nasty comment on YouTube, you might just write it off of that person's being a hater. Maybe they are, but there might be a kernel of truth. There might be some gem in there that you can use. I think a lot of people are too sensitive. I think if you can only take feedback when somebody sugarcoats it and packages it nicely and say, I love you, I love your channel, I love everything you're doing, I love all your ideas, but there's one little tiny thing that I think if you fix would really help. If that's the only way you can take feedback, you're gonna lose. You're gonna get nasty comments, and some of them are just pure haters and it's their own problem. But sometimes buried within that nasty comment is actually a kernel of truth. There's a gem in there for you. And so if you can remove the sting, right? Have empathy, remove the sting, then look at the comment and see, is there anything from this comment? Is there anything in this critique that I can actually learn to make my idea or my concept better? Look for the gem. And then number 3 is addressed to those who are dealing with their parents who might be your biggest critic. Understand that your parents are pilgrims. Your parents are pilgrims. Your parents come from a different era. If you're 20 years old right now, as an example, the opportunities available to you using this are things that your parents at 20 years old can't understand. The opportunities available to you right now are insane compared to what your parents had when they're at your same age. And so when they're saying, go get a safe job, go be a doctor, go be a lawyer, go be an accountant, go do something you can work at some job forever. That's actually their version of love for you, right? That's empathy. Empathy, step into their shoes. They love you. Chances are your parents love you. I hope. But chances are they do. And so they're trying to give you advice that they would have given themselves X number of years ago back when they were your age. They just don't understand what's available right now. A lot of times, a lot of the people who are critiquing you, criticizing you, it may be out of love. They just don't understand the path that you see. They don't understand the world that we're living in right now. They don't understand everything that can be created. And so have that empathy for them. Understand that that's where they're coming from. They love you. And again, removes the sting out of the words. And then you can see, how do you want to act? How do you want to react to these people around you that would make you feel proud? Whatever that is in your head, then go and do it.
If you want to learn how to increase your willpower, check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
Willpower comes from setting goals and keeping those commitments to yourself. When you set a goal and you complete it, you build more willpower. You are teaching yourself, you're training yourself that you are the kind of person